Hello, fourth graders. Welcome to art this Tuesday morning. I am subbing in Mrs. French's class this week, so I'm sorry I won't be able to be in class with you, but I'm going to show you a project that I was going to do with you anyways. So I'm going to have you get started in your class, and then we can work on it again next week when you come to art. Our project this week is one that I really like, and I think it's fun because you can be super creative with it and make it your own. So that way not every single one is exactly the same. So I did this last year with my fourth graders, and it was one they really liked, so I thought I would try it again with you guys. As you can see, it's nighttime out. I've been trying to work on this all day, and I finally got to it now, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So this week we are going to be making one of my favorite things. It is a fall gnome. So gnomes, and I brought in a bunch of gnomes, and I'm gonna get nice and close so you can see them, to inspire you. I was gonna put them on your desk or on the table, so I will bring them next week and put them on there. So you can see this little gnome is playing an instrument, so that could be something you could do with your gnome. This one I love, he's doing yoga. This gnome is on the beach with his flamingo and his towel and his belly showing. Here's another musical gnome. And you can see most of them have beards. So that's the gnomes we are going to be doing are going to have beards. But this gnome is a girl. So I guess if you didn't want to do a beard, that would be fine too. You can just kind of make it girly. Maybe they have some pigtails on the side or something like that. This gnome is carrying mushrooms, so that could be an idea. You can do your background however you want, so maybe you want to add some mushrooms or some flowers. Last year I had some kids add some leaves in the background to make it nice and fall-like, or trees. They did a bunch of fun things. This is just a gnome climbing on a little house. And then this gnome, maybe my favorite, he is ready for the beach. He has his flip-flops and sunglasses. So those are our gnomes that are inspiration today, but you are going to be able to decide how you want to do your gnome. So I am going to be bringing you some of these large pieces of paper. I hope I don't have a glare on this. To your class. So I will bring those in the morning, and I'm going to have you guys sketch it out with pencil first. That way, in case you make a mistake, you can erase it. And I also want your name and code on them on the back, but on the bottom really small. So that way, if you mess up, you can just flip it over and then you'll have a fresh piece of paper there. I'm going to do our gnomes in Sharpie, but you can do your gnome in pencil. That way, if you mess up, then you can erase it. So I'm going to show you a couple examples first. This one I didn't totally finish. Oh, I'm going to have a glare on this. I might have to change my lighting. So this little gnome was my inspiration. I saw a painting that was a gnome in like a pumpkin. So that was my original idea. I only had a few kids that went with my pumpkin idea, but I thought that was cute to have like a pumpkin body and then a gnome hat. And then if you can see, my hat has a curlicue on it. And our hats are going to be covering over their eyes, so they just have their nose. This one is one Jalen did. She did her gnome with a really fun hat. She had decided to have two points coming out of each side of her hat and had a cute little smirk in her nose. And she did her big belly gnome with polka dots, and then she had flower in the back. So I let the kids choose how they wanted to color them in. She used color pencils. She outlined some of it in marker and Sharpie. I will be bringing Sharpies to your room. If you would like to outline them in Sharpie, you can, but you don't have to. I just don't want to see any pencil marks. So you can outline it in crayon or a colored pencil or a colored marker if you don't want it in Sharpie. I wanted to show you before you begin a couple different hats. So you can see, I did that one really tall and fun. And I just did squigglies all the way up with one looped and added some kind of like a tassel there. With this one, you'll need to start your nose a little farther down your paper. So if you want a really long hat, then you're gonna start your nose farther down. And if you want a shorter hat like this one, then you could put it more towards a little above the middle. Here's another one that's kind of like a droopy hat. So there's lots of different ways you could do your gnome hat. So I want you to be creative and have fun with this. All right, so I'm gonna be going step by step how to draw your gnome. If we could maybe assign someone in your class to be like a pause person, that way we can let your teachers get some work done, and someone could come up and pause it as I'm working if you need to take a minute and catch up, or if you made a mistake and you need to erase, that would be good to do. So have someone pause it and then you can restart it and keep going. All right, are we ready? So I'm gonna use Sharpie so you can see it, but remember, you're gonna use pencil in case you make a mistake. Your name and code, either 4W or 4D, will go on the back really small in case you mess up. Then you can flip it over and have a fresh start. All right, so we're gonna begin with our nose. So this gnome, I'm going to make my nose a little farther towards the middle or even a little below the middle. That way I can have a nice, cool, fun hat. Okay, so I like to begin with the nose. And the nose, you can do it different ways. I just do an oval. Oh, goodness gracious, are you gonna be able to see this? There we go, there's my oval. And if you wanna sketch it really lightly, you can. I like to do that, so it helps so you don't make mistakes. Sharpie is so hard to work with because then you can't make a mistake. All right, so let's see if I got the glare down. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to add the hat. And I know we don't have a body or the beard yet, but I like to do the hat next, okay? So what I'm going to do is draw the brim, and you can decide if you want it to curve over. You can see Jalen's is more straight. So you can decide how you want that hat to be. We'll leave it like that. Then you're gonna think about how you want that hat. I'm gonna do a really fun one. Do you see that? Goes up and around, and then I'm gonna have a little curl at the end. I think that's a fun hat. So now once I do one side, then I can go back around the other side. I'm gonna start at the point here and work on my swirl. And you can decide how big you want that top to be. And then just meet it right there. You see his hat? Oh, that's fun. I like it. And you could just leave it like that. Like I said, this one I added like a little tassel on it. I thought that was fun. Maybe like a little leaf would look cool at the end. Something fun like that. So that, maybe I'll put a little poof here. Kind of like a star at the end of this one. And then your hats, you can decorate however you want. Maybe you want to make it stripes. Maybe you want to add some zigzag lines. Maybe you want it to be flowers. You are going to have fun and make it your own. Be creative though. Don't just color it all purple. That wouldn't be super fun. Okay, have fun with it and be creative. Okay, the next step we're going to do is his beard. Now, the beard, you can see Jalen's goes down low below his belly. You can decide how long you want his beard to be and how wavy you want it to be. See how hers just kind of waves to the side a little bit? So what you're gonna do is go about in the middle of your hat on each side. Between the nose and the brim of your hat. About the middle. And you're just gonna draw a beard going straight down. You see that? So I did a nice long one. If you want it to be shorter, you can. And I originally did these with oil pastels, so if you wanted to add some oil pastel to it next week, since you won't have those materials there, you could do that, or just go ahead and use the materials you have. Some of the kids added white and like gray into their beard, and some just left it white. This glare is gonna drive me nuts. All right, so the next step you're gonna do is you're gonna add your body. So it's gonna go around the bottom. Now you can decide how skinny or thin you want your body to be. Some of our gnomes are a little thinner and some of them are a little wider. So you can decide. I liked having a nice round body. Like that. I think that's cute. Okay, so I did a big circle for his body, and then that's when I made it into a pumpkin. That's why I kind of made it more of a circle last year, like this one, or more of like an oval shaped bottom. So you can decide how round. This one's pretty round. So if you wanted it a little wider up the bottom, have it short at the top, you can. All right, and then for the arms, you just add a line towards the top of the body, and you go around and circle it under. I didn't do any hands or anything on it, just kind of circle it under. It's kind of like an ear almost, or like a backwards J. And then you want to be the same point across on this side, oh, this glare, and do the same thing. Okay. And you see one arm's a little skinnier than the other. That's fine. It's fine. So now we're going to add the feet. The feet are going to go at the bottom. So what you're going to do, got the glare down, is you're going to do the round top and then go in towards the bottom. See that? Just a little foot out to the side. And then you'll do the other side, round top, and then tuck it in towards the bottom. All right, so this is my basic shape. My belly's a little round. You want yours a little skinnier to the side, you can. You can decorate his body or her body how you want. If you want it to be a her, maybe you take away the beard and add some pigtails or maybe a little skirt or something. Once you get to this point, I will have Sharpies if you want to outline it. I would just suggest that you put maybe a scrap paper underneath in case, so you don't, the Sharpie doesn't bleed through and get on your table. Maybe I'll bring some newspaper for your teachers to put down if you're going to use Sharpies. If you do not want to do Sharpies, you can outline it in crayon or marker or even color pencil and start decorating and have fun with it. Maybe I know some gnomes are like sports teams, so maybe you want a Michigan or Michigan State gnome or a Notre Dame gnome. You could put maybe the logo here on the hat. I think that will look cute. Maybe you want a little smaller and you can have your gnome in the woods and you can add some trees in the background. Maybe you want some flowers or mushrooms going around here. So be creative, have fun with this. I wanted to try to find a lesson that could take a full 50 minutes so your teacher can have a nice long break. But if you get to a point where you feel like you're done, or maybe you need something for my room even, I will have a couple coloring sheets too for you to do, so you give your teacher a full 50 minutes break. No distractions. Remember, if you need to pause it, have someone to come up and pause it for them. And I will also be bringing you guys your masks. So those I will bring to your room, and if you want to take them home, you can. If you would like for me to sew them, just leave them maybe on your back counter, and I'll come pick them up at like lunch or something and sew them and get them back to you this week so you can have those. I look forward to seeing your projects. I'll have your teacher give them to me when you guys are done working on them. Work your hardest. I can't wait to see them, and I will see you guys. I'll probably see you guys around this week, but I will see you back in my classroom next week. And remember, any any work that you did last week in home online school, not quarantine, if you take a picture and send it to me or bring it in, you will get a piece of candy next week when you come to my class. So I will see you later. I hope you enjoy your gnomes. Have a good day.